Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the WOSHL podcast. I am your host, Andrew Rogers. The WOSHL podcast brought to you by VMS Sportswear and Apparel. Like I said, it's great to be back with you guys once again. For those of you who don't know me, Andrew Rogers, I'm the WOSHL podcast host, and I also do play-by-play on occasion. So you'll probably see me in some arenas sporting that sweater out there. And so make sure to say hi, follow along, follow on Facebook. Subscribe and like on YouTube and all the good stuff to follow along with me all season long. This is the third year I've done this, third season, and it got off to a real banger over the weekend. 3 terrific hockey games and really kicked off season 3 of the WOSHL League, in the best of ways. It was really a great weekend, and had the privilege of going down to Tilbury to cover the Tilbury Bluebirds home opener. Not the result they were hoping for, but a good crowd and a great feeling for me personally to get back into an arena and call a game. So much fun. And much thanks to Joe Byrne and the Tilbury Bluebirds for allowing me to go down and do that. So thank you very much to them. Other games, we had there were a couple ones. We had the Petrolia Squires open up their season by facing the Orangeville Blitz. And then we had the Strathroy Jets going up against the Woodstock Lakers. We have highlights from from Jets and Lakers, and we also have highlights of Tilbury and Dunnville. And unfortunately, we don't have highlight pack from the Petrolia game, but we will give you a recap from that. And we got a great podcast coming up here, and we look forward to it. We'll get you caught up on all the happenings where we're at, and get you teed up for the week 2 in the WOSHL. But before, like I say, the first thing I want to do is recap the weekend that was. So let's get to it. Yes, indeed. The Petrolia Squires defeating the Orangeville Blitz by a score of 10-2. Winning goaltender in this one, Brandon Campbell of the Petrolia Squires. Losing goaltender, Ian Hogg from the Orangeville Blitz. Big scores in this game. There were a lot of them on the Petrolia Squire side. Ryan Trottier, 4 points. Brendan Merritt with 4 points. Ryan Fraser with 3. Corey Pauly with 3. Craig Wright with 3. We also had Jesse Ferguson, Brandon Biggers, both with 2. Jack Hackett with 2. And really a big statement for the Petrolia Squires as they improved to 1-0. Orangeville Blitz fall to 0-1. 10-2 is the final in this one.
Ready for puck drop here in Tilbury. Starting goaltenders, number 30, Matt Anthony of the Tilbury Bluebirds. And starting in goal for Dunnville, number 31, Jesse Schumann. Should be a good contest here tonight. Tilbury in the home whites, while Dunnville rocks a beautiful jersey over here with a lot of logos on it. They look like a KHL team, don't they? But we're going to get started here. Dylan Denemy going to take this face-off here against number 13, Matt Rigrock. And we are underway here in Tilbury. Dunnville's going to try and get it out, and they do. Look out! Jennings steps in front of that. He's onside. Look out! Pass across. Oh, no shot. Oh, down goes Schumann. What action 5 minutes in here in Tilbury. That was crazy. He'll be back to the line and out. Jennings has it in the neutral zone. Off the boards. Dunnville controls in their own end. Back up the boards. Look out. Number 93 puts it in the middle. That's Steve Albanese. Here comes Rugrock. What a move! Where is it? It's in! Dunnville scores first. And they lead it 1-0. 10 seconds to go. Look out. Almost a too many men penalty there. But Dunnville has it in their own end. Whoa, look out! I got it. Almost in the face. That's what it says here. Yeah, Tatro. Jesse Schumann blocked that. Whoa, it's in, it's loose. They score! What a wacky play, but Tilbury's on the board. Hey, sometimes you need to score goals like that to get the momentum on your side. And we got a goal from Tilbury. Wide. Sam Berg with it, number 96. There's a shot. Loose at the side. Shot scores! Dunnville answers right back. Scrambly play in front is put home, and I think Sam Berg is going to get it, number 96. And just like that, Dunnville responds with a goal of their own, and they take their lead back. Banga, he has the Tilbury goal. He'll bring it ahead. Over to Denemy. Banga took a big hit at the line. Into the middle. Banga's shooken up. He'll go off. Jennings from the line. Hit Denemy in the skate and went wide. Banga took a wicked hit and was slow to get up. And he is in some discomfort on the Tilbury bench. And Tilbury obviously not sure why there wasn't a penalty called there. 12:50 to go here in the second. Dunnville leads it 2-1. Ahead, here's a 2-on-1. Butler has Maine. Butler shoots, scores! Tilbury ties the game at 2 with that beauty from number 20, Cole Butler. And Dunnville shoots it in to the Tilbury zone. 8 minutes in. Look out! Scores! A breakdown in the Tilbury zone, and Dunnville takes advantage. And I think it's going to be 67, Brad Parrish, who hops on that loose puck and makes no mistake. And just like that, 30 some odd seconds later, Dunnville takes the lead back. This will be played into the Tilbury zone, no icing. Montgomery throws it up the boards and out. .250 to go in the power play. Major penalty. It's being served by number 68, Preston Hathaway. He played ahead. Dunnville in across the line. Wide, here's a chance. They score! Great individual effort there. Number 22, Luke Rowe, I believe, is going to get the goal. And that makes the lead 4-2 for Dunnville. Isakov's been a beast for the Bluebirds. Number 29, there's a shot, they score! Quick and off the face-off, it's another power play goal for Dunnville. And their lead is now 5-2. And Dunnville has it in their own end. And that's going to do it. Period 2 comes to a close. Dunnville Arrows have a commanding 5-2 lead. Here comes Tilbury the other way. Main into the middle. Has Bentley. Try to send her across. They score! Butler! That's his second of the game. Here in the third. And makes it a 2-goal game. Tilbury has it down low. No shot yet. Banga across. Jennings. Into the middle. Scores! Banga! The timeout pays dividends. And it's 5-4 Dunnville. Great call by Tilbury to take the timeout, work out a play, and Banga has his second of the hockey game. 45.9 on the clock. Tilbury with the offensive zone faceoff here. Denemy takes it. It's going to be played up by Dunnville. It's going to be down the ice. Does he have enough? It's in! Wow. And just like that, Dunnville scores and it's 6-4. A floater from the Dunnville zone. 3 stars of the game. Jesse Schumann is number 1. Second star, Matt Rugrock, second star. And for the Tilbury Bluebirds, star number 3, Cole Butler. Andrew Rogers of the WOSHL podcast host, signing off from Tilbury. WOSHL Hockey, sponsored by VMF Sportswear and Apparel. Thank you everyone for watching tonight on Live on Sportfy. It's been a pleasure bringing this game to you, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Yeah, guys. So like I say, what a crazy, crazy weekend. And, an unbelievable 3 games to get us started in the WOSHL season year 3. But like I say, privilege for me to be in Tilbury. I really had a great time in Tilbury calling that game. And what a win for the Dunnville Arrows, who thanks to Tom Longland for hooking me up with the t-shirt and definitely supporting the Dunnville Arrows this week on the podcast after their first victory in WOSHL. And you know what? Talk about a heck of a victory for them. Given the fact that they were going up against a team that finished with the best record last year in the Tilbury Bluebirds. Now, granted, it wasn't the same Tilbury team from last year, as they were missing a lot of regulars from last season. However, to still come into Tilbury in that arena and pull out a victory like that, nothing short of impressive. Great efforts all around, especially as well from the Dunnville Arrows side. You had Luke Rowe, who paced the team. He had 3 points. Sam Berg had 2 goals. Matt Rigrock, he had 2 goals in the hockey game. And our guest on the podcast this week, Jesse Schumann, he had a great game in the Dunnville Arrows net, and we'll talk to him in a little while. We're also going to hear from Mitch Scott of the Allure Rocks on the podcast as well. But just give you a couple graphics to look at here. We have our standings update, of course. Petrolia, Strathroy, Dunnville, all 1-0. Tilbury, Woodstock, Orangeville, 0-1. 5 teams still without a game under their belts. That'll all change after this upcoming weekend. We'll get to the schedule in a little while. But yeah, big statement wins for Petrolia. 10 goals to against. Big game for them against Orangeville. A lot of scoring there from them. And then obviously, Jets winning 5-1, Dunnville 6-4. But still early on, and a lot of games upcoming this weekend. We'll switch you to the league leaders for points. Like I mentioned, guys, Ryan Trottier, 4 points, Brendan Merritt, 4 points, pacing the Petrolia Squires, goal and 3 assists each. Ryan Fraser, goal, 2 assists, Corey Pauly, a goal, 2 assists. Craig Wright, 2 goals and an assist, one of many players for that had a pair of goals in the 3 games. Craig Wright being one of them. Justin McIntyre of the Strathroy Jets with 2. Sammy Banga of Tilbury with 2. Cole Butler of Tilbury with 2. And Matt Rigrock of the Dunnville Arrows with 2, as well as Sam Berg. Rigrock, the first goal it's a trivia question, right? Who scored the first goal of the Dunnville Arrows WOSHL history? That's your answer right there, Matt Rigrock. So, and then obviously, for over on the Petrolia Squire side of things, it was Craig Wright who opened the scoring, and they never let up. They were up 5-0 after the first period in Petrolia. So, just a little bit of fun facts there. Before we go on to our interviews, guys, we'll take a look at the schedule because it's a beauty. Actually, before we do that, first and foremost, I do want to show you the WOSHL 3 stars from this past week. You know what? A lot of good players to pick out from, but they did pick the top 3. Starting with the first star, Evan DeBrouwer of the Strathroy Jets, goaltender there. Terrific game for him. Only allowed 1 against the Lakers and pulled out the W, and he got the win. Great way to start his season. We had... let me see. Brendan Merritt was star number 2 for the Petrolia Squires. He could have picked anybody from them, but big Brendan Merritt. Good to see him get a goal, 3 assists in the game, 4 points, and he's tied for first in league scoring after week number 1. And then our third star from the winning Dunnville Arrows, Luke Rowe, who had a goal and 2 assists. So congratulations to them on being named the 3 stars of week number 1 in the WOSHL. And we'll keep you updated throughout the course of the season each week as to who are the 3 stars in the WOSHL League. Guys, let's switch to our schedule and we'll have a look at this upcoming weekend. And there are a ton of really, really good hockey games and good matchups here. We'll start on Friday, October the 6th. We have the Elora Rocks visiting the Strathroy Jets. Strathroy 1-0. Elora, it's their first game of the season. Anytime these two teams play each other, it's a fantastic game. 7:30 puck drop at the Gemini Sportsplex. Over in Petrolia, the Petrolia Squires are 1-0, and they are taking on the Woodstock Lakers, who are 0-1. That one goes at 8:30, the Greenwood Rec Center for Petrolia. Back-to-back home games to start. And then we switch over to Saturday, October the 7th, and we have a 5-game schedule there for Saturday. The night begins with 2 games at 7:30. First, you have your Orangeville Blitz at the Tilbury Bluebirds. Both teams 0-1, looking for their first victory. 7:30 at the Tilbury Memorial Arena. And then we switch over to Tillsonburg. It's the Tillsonburg Thunder with their home opener and season opener as they host their old friend and old pal. They'll renew the rivalry there. Tillsonburg Thunder and the Petrolia Squires, 7:30, Tillsonburg Community Center. We switch then to 7:45, and that sees us look at the Southwood Arena. It'll get our first look at the Southwood Arena, home of the Woodstock Lakers, as they welcome in the Strathroy Jets. For a 7:45 puck drop there. The defending champs get their season started, and they are on the road against the Dunnville Arrows. 8 o'clock, the puck drop there at the Dunnville Memorial Arena. This matchup for me is game of the week. Stratford Fighting Irish, defending champs. They got a lot of pressure to defend that championship, and they get it underway. Their season against a Dunnville Arrows team who surprised Tilbury last week and face another uphill battle against the defending champs. If we see a goaltending matchup like Jesse Schumann and Darren Smith of the Irish, I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen, but if that is the goalie matchup we get, expect a low-scoring game. Our final game of the weekend takes place in Delhi. You see the Delhi Flames and their new squad and their new jerseys and their new look against another team who's also sporting a new look this year. A lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, not so many returning, but there is some. The Alvinster Killer Bees and the Delhi Flames tangle at 8 o'clock at the Delhi Arena. And guys, honestly, I think that could be a sleeper pick for game of the week because, I expect those two teams to really go in their first games of the season, and they're out to prove something. especially Delhi after losing a lot of games to finish the season last year. They want to start off their season with a win in the win column. So pressure on both teams, and we'll see which team can deliver. But yeah, guys, from here, we want to go to our interviews for this week. We have two coming up here. Our first interview, Dunnville Arrows goaltender Jesse Schumann, and then that's followed up by our interview with Mitch Scott of the Allura Rocks to talk about their upcoming season. We'll be back in a little while. All right, folks, we're on the WOSHL podcast here. We're in conversation. Pleased to be joined at this time by Dunnville Arrows starting netminder Jesse Schumann. Jesse, it's great to have you on here, pal. Welcome to WOSHL through the Dunnville Arrows, and great to have you on the podcast. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Andrew. I'm really looking forward to talking to you today.
Yeah, man, like I say, it's an absolute pleasure having you on, especially off the heels of a massive victory. I mean, I don't need to understate this enough, but, you know, your first game in the WOSHL League, you go up against a team that maybe doesn't look like the same team they had last year, but they were also the same team that put up the best record in the league last year. So no slouches. Last time they were on the ice, a crushing Game 7 defeat. They always obviously wanted to wipe away memories of that. But then you go into their barn as the away team and put together a 60-minute effort, cultivating in a 6-4 victory. And you were outstanding. Kudos to you from a personal standpoint. And yeah, obviously, congratulations on the win. What'd you see from your perspective?
From my perspective, it was a good game. Tilbury is a very strong team. Right out of the gate, I was thrown back by even just the speed that they had. Like the very first play, they almost tucked one in on a wraparound, but I got a good bounce there. But the boys were buzzing right from the start. Like this was a big one for all the guys in town. They've been waiting to play competitive hockey again for quite some time. So once we got the news about, the Dunnville Arrows, everybody in town gets talking, and that's the nice thing about small towns is we've got a really good group, and everybody was really excited, and we brought that momentum coming into the game, right? So the boys made it really easy for me. For all the people that did watch back at home online and everything, thank you for doing that. But they got to see just how the Dunnville boys play, and right out of the gate, right? I think we had like 20 shots in the first period. They kept it really easy for me. And then nothing against Tilbury either. They're a really strong team, and they competed from start to finish. I was just really excited to get the win, and the boys really helped me out back there too. So
right on.
Yeah.
No, hey, that's great. Like I say, and obviously to get the first victory in the first game, get a huge monk off your back that way. That's obviously huge. So yeah, you said the speed was a big adjustment there. Obviously, it had to be good as a goaltender also to see your team go down the ice and get the first one.
Yes, that was huge. You kind of can take a big sigh of relief there, knowing that you're up 1-0 and you got a little bit of breathing room. I think going into this year and everything, that was kind of like that first game is always it's always a tough one, right? Because you never know what you're gonna expect.
Sure.
But yeah, it was really good just to kind of get that off the back and then just play with a little bit more comfort, knowing that you're up 1-0. And then
Definitely.
they said the boys were rolling and took it early. So
yeah. One of the things that I did notice also is in the first period there, in a kind of a wild sequence, there's a big hit on one of the Tilbury forwards or defensemen. He gets hit coming into the zone, and one guy ends up crashing into you. And I thought right away, my heart sunk, man. I was like, oh boy, hopefully it's not bad. Like, what a way to start a season, first game in the WOSHL League, and you go down in the first period. Like, what was running through your head when that happened? And did you breathe a big sigh of relief when you were like, okay, I'm good?
To be honest, I kind of, that's part of my game. I like to win. I'm a little, I kind of like those scrums and stuff like that. And you know what, I kind of knew right out of the gate, like I would be fine and persevere through. But throughout my entire junior career, I've been known to be in a couple of those little scrums or, goalies or players coming in. So, I'm kind of used to it. And like I said, I kind of feed off that stuff too. Like, to be able to, get up and everybody's kind of like, oh, what's going on? And just battle back and make a big save after it. It just kind of gets the blood flowing and gets me pumped up.
Well, there you go. And like I said, breathe a sigh of relief there that you were okay and you were able to finish the game and finish the game strong. You were huge in the victory for them. Um, let's talk about the first goal you allowed, because it was kind of a wacky one there as the puck kind of come out and got caught in your skates. Next thing you know, it's tucked in the back of the net. Could you take us through that? What were you feeling in that moment? Was there any sense of panic, or was like shake it off, on to the next, like let's get focused?
It was definitely shake it off, onto the next. That was the biggest thing going into Tilbury, was especially in warmups. I've never played there before, so just getting familiar with the arena, and
Yeah.
all the guys kind of noticed that behind the net was a little lively, so I was trying to help the guys out and stop the puck there. But yeah, no, it just kind of it didn't go the way I had planned it, that's for sure. And but yeah, and at the same time too, like, you get that first goal out of the way for them, and goals are going to go in, you shake it off. But
Sure.
it was kind of just like, okay, well, there it is, it's out of the way, and
Yeah.
move on from there.
No, I hear you. I just thought it was kind of like I say, figures would be a greasy goal. They would score first on you, but yeah, like I say, a lot. You're gonna, it's a long season, and it should be an entertaining one for sure. Jesse, let's talk about like how this all came to be that you would join Dunville in the first place. I mean, I don't know how long it's been exactly since you've even played competitive hockey. Like, how did this come to fruition? And were you nervous, excited? Like, what was the general feeling for you?
I was definitely nervous to start. But as the game went on, and like I said, the guys got rolling pretty quickly. That nervous kind of motivated me a little bit. But it's been a couple of years since I played competitive hockey.
Okay.
The last full 60-minute game was probably in my 21-year-old year with the Dunville Mudcats.
Okay.
Took a couple of years off after junior there, just to rest the knees and the hips and stuff. And then I got into coaching a little bit, which made me miss the game a lot. Last
Sure.
year, a lot of the guys play in like a pickup league Sunday morning. So I jumped back into that, and we got talking to all the boys. And that's when things kind of started to roll, and the news that the team might come. And then obviously I was excited, and I basically put my name right out there as soon as I can with Tom and the Longlands there. And they were thrilled to have me. They just kind of everything just fell into place for us, and it just worked out for me that way too. So it just through conversation and a couple stag and does in town. We got a couple of them where we get close.
Sure.
Shooting the shit at those, and everything just worked out.
Right on, right on. And like I say, it's definitely cool that the Arrows are in town. Great logo, obviously.
Yes.
Digging that. What were your thoughts initially on the jersey too? Because we got to talk about that, man. Like, how many advertisements were on on these jerseys and the helmets? Like, I mean, I said one of the first things, I was like, man, these guys look like a KHL team, some team out of Europe or something like that. What was your thoughts on that? Because they actually look pretty cool.
Yeah. The sponsors and the endorsements and stuff like that, it was kind of an eye opener. I wasn't expecting that, but to see like retro Canucks jerseys out there,
it's pretty cool, right?
Cool. So, but yeah, it definitely got that European feel to them. That's for sure.
So, but that obviously means though that the community support has been huge. I mean, obviously, if this many sponsorships have come to the Dunville team and said, "Yeah, we're in," the community must be really backing you. And then obviously having your home opener this upcoming Saturday, when you host the Stratford Fighting Irish, no easy task there, defending champs. What's your feeling of that, and what do you expect the turnout to be at the Dunville Memorial Arena?
Well, hockey's huge in Dunville, so like you said, like having the community kind of together, it's something that we all, or I say we, but like the group that we have that played in Dunville, we all experienced that with the Mudcats, and it's just transgressed into the Arrows. Now for home opener, I would expect that we have a really good crowd. Like, everybody's been itching to come in and see us play, and now rolling off of a huge win against Tilbury, and not to mention you're going in against Stratford, the defending champions, like you said. Like, it's a battle to be, and it's all most people can talk about in town right now. So I do expect there to be a lot of people in the arena. I don't know if there's really going to be much standing room in the
Sure.
Dunville Memorial.
but you know they're going to be in for a show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So when it comes to when it comes to goaltending, obviously, you know, you got the best seat in the house, obviously. Um, how, like, from an early age, was it always wanting to be a goalie? Like, you know, in those early days, like who's your biggest motivator when it came to even getting into hockey?
My father was definitely the biggest motivator into getting into hockey. I had a tremendous amount of support from everybody in my family, my brothers, my sisters. My mother was a huge role, especially you know, she always made sure I was having fun with it. That was a
Good.
big thing. However, the goalie thing was my dad was actually coaching in novice, I think it was, and one of our goalies decided that he didn't want to play anymore, and I always had an interest in it, but my father was kind of like, no, like, you don't want to be a goalie, do you? Come on.
Trying to save the money.
Well, yeah, the equipment definitely isn't cheap,
No.
but I always had a liking on it, and I had my very first goalie coach, Larry Link. His son Andrew was a goalie, and he was a big part of kind of building me as a goalie and as a person, really. So I learned a lot from him and fell in love with the position, basically from what he had taught me, and just the love that my father had for hockey. It just kind of dropped down on me too. So it definitely was something that was an eye opener for my father, because he has no idea anything about the position, but
Right.
his support through and through. He'd take me to goalie lessons, and I remember he used to take me to Stratford to go see Steve McKeegan when I was a kid, and
Oh, no way.
yeah, we'd be in the van at, like, I want to say 3 a.m. and you know he'd blow up an air mattress or something, and he had to get a little rest here and there, and he would drive the whole way.
Wow.
He was what made me as committed as it was, because just watching his commitment really really brushed off on me.
Cool,
So
man. Yeah, that's so cool. Right on. That's pretty amazing. That's a great story. Okay, thanks, Dad, for that.
yeah,
You know, you can't help but you know, thank the parents that are endless contributors to any hockey player's success, no question about it.
definitely.
And yeah, so like I say, big game, obviously Saturday, defending champs. That's going to be a big one for you guys. What would you say your expertise on this league coming into this year? Did you have any sort of prior knowledge? Have you played with any guys in this league before? Like, where's that at?
I honestly went in pretty blind.
Okay.
I didn't really know much about the league, or to be honest, I didn't really know there was this league kind of kicking around.
Right.
Um, you always hear about, or at least around my neck of the woods, like the Dundas Real McCoys and the
Sure.
Brantford Blast, and that kind of side of the senior hockey. Um, but honestly, like, once I caught wind of this, and there's a lot on YouTube and from your side of it too, right? Watching a lot of that as the summer went on, and just it really it really got me excited to play hockey again, just to see, like, man, this league is definitely nothing to be shaking your head about. It's a good league, and like I said, the very first shift, just to see how quickly the game kind of broke out, was a real eye opener too. So
Yeah. Well, every game is going to be a learning experience, and it's going to be a new experience as well. And like you say, it doesn't get any easier going from the team with the best record to the team that won it all last year. And the Stratford Fighting Irish, when they travel to Dunnville for Dunnville Arrows home opener this Saturday, 8 o'clock puck drop. We've been speaking with goaltender Jesse Schumann. See, I knew I would do that.
so
Jesse Schumann. And we've been absolutely a pleasure to have you on here, pal. And best of luck on Saturday, and best of luck the rest of the way throughout the season. We'll be sure to talk to you again. Thanks for doing this.
thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, folks, back here on the WOSHL podcast. We are in conversation, and we are always very pleased and honored, in fact, to be joined by Mitch Scott of the Allure Rocks. Mitch, friend of the show, man, been a friend of mine for a long time. It's great to have you back on, and great to have you in conversation before another season. How's it going, man?
Mr. Rogers, it's a pleasure as always, and things are great. Life is great, and our hockey team is shaping up to be exactly what we want it to be this year. And So yeah, we're coming along nicely.
Yeah. Let's if you could dive into that a little bit more. What's the preparation been like? I know there's been lots of headlines from the Lower Rocks socials. New leadership group was announced today, so that was huge. And I guess what are your thoughts, preparations as you guys head into tomorrow night's matchup against the Jets?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll touch on the leadership thing first. We didn't have much turnover this year, but we did make a change at our captaincy. We're still uncertain if Spencer Gourlay will be back this year. He's got some personal life business going on that could lead him overseas, and so he's still uncertain as to his status for the year. So we had to make a decision, and we felt that Spencer McCormick, since he's become a member of our team, has just exemplified leadership every single time that we're in the room, and so that was sort of a no-brainer for us. And we added some new captaincies, guys who others might not have expected. Mark Hamilton, who has been instrumental on the back end for us. He doesn't put up a whole lot of points, but there might not be anyone who works harder than Mark Hamilton on the team.
Good.
And he's such a nice guy, and he always brings a positive attitude to the dressing room, and his willingness to learn. He's just a sponge. And we Chad Heron remains an assistant. We put an A on his chest during the playoffs last year. And then we're doing a split assistant captaincy with Steve Dole on the road. He's been with the team forever and is incredible. He was the captain at Morrisville in the NCAA. And then local boy Luke Fulcher will wear the A at home. So we're really excited for those guys. And then in terms of our team, man, we didn't have a lot of turnover this year. We had a few guys. Danny Heath went to university. A few other guys have left to pursue other ventures, but it's almost the exact same team as last year. We have added some really nice pieces that we're excited about. Two NCAA players that we just added yesterday. We haven't posted about. We added two real young studs, just finished junior B with Stratford.
Touch on that a little bit, eh? That's pretty decent.
Well, so Keaton McLaughlin and Owen Robertson we added, and so Keaton is an Elmira guy who ended up getting traded to Stratford. And his junior career really just kept escalating, and he's trained with Rich for a few years at his gym. Rich Wigmore, for those who don't know. So it was almost like instantly, as soon as he finished his junior career, he knew he was coming to play for us. And then Owen Robertson is one of his best friends, and he's from Waterloo. So you're kind of halfway between Elora and Stratford. He made the decision where he wanted to come. So yeah, we're really excited about the guys who we've added. We made a trade for Jeff White.
I saw that too.
From Aaron last year. He reached out to us earlier after talking with Charlie Stevens and Anthony Marshall. The average age on our team has gone up significantly now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but no, it's a great team this year. Great group of guys, and we have a few more pieces that we're close to adding. They'll be very exciting if we're able to get at least one of them. So we're in a good spot right now.
Right on. And do you think too that there's a little bit of I don't know if you could call it extra pressure. I mean, you guys won the championship in the inaugural season. That was huge. Last year, Stratford gets a little bit of revenge on you in the playoffs, sweep you out. Is that weigh on the minds of guys heading into another season at this point, or is it just all business on day one?
You know what? I think it's a little bit different this year. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves last year. Like, we wanted to be perfect every game. Right. We had such high expectations. We were spoiled in year one. We got 20 guys at every single game, and we had our best players out to every single game. We had such an unbelievable group. And then last year, we had multiple guys who had kids during the season or had babies during the season, and Maybe their jobs had progressed in their career. And so it wasn't quite the same in terms of commitment last year, but we really kept that, that desire to want to win. And I think this year we're really just trying to rebuild that positive culture, and that, like, you know what, we're here to have fun. We're fun first. We want guys to be able to buy into our culture, and we have a pretty simple, basic system that we run for our teams, given minimal practice time. But yeah, in terms of extra pressure and everything like that, we don't really feel that at all. We obviously think we've put ourselves in a position where we're good enough to win and beat any team any given night. So sure. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Fair enough. One thing that I noticed from your schedule specifically, if you look ahead, if you want to be one of those guys that circles dates, Tilbury Bluebirds, when you guys finally play them in the regular season or any point in any time. So that's an exciting matchup. Did you catch any of the games last weekend, and what impressed you?
I did. Tilbury, I don't want to say they got out coached, because it's a tough, all teams are tough.
Right.
I feel like they're a more skilled team than what Dunnville is. However, Dunnville came in with a solid defense first game plan from what I saw, and there were quite a few turnovers in the neutral zone that Dunnville was able to force, and I think that was probably the turning point in their game. So really impressed with Dunnville. It looked like they had a great system. Such a small sample size for a team like Tilbury, who was so good last year. I really don't know much about their roster outside of their few top guys,
I'm really not sure what to expect from them in terms of a roster standpoint this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them, and I'm excited to meet Joe Byrne for the first time too. So
yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And then you had Strathroy beating Woodstock, and then Petrolia putting the screws to Orangeville by putting up a 10 spot. Are you excited about the fact that Petrolia is in this league now? You got to play them 4 times this year.
We only play them twice.
Or sorry, twice. I apologize.
Yeah. We're fortunate we don't have to go to Petrolia more than once.
True. But they are a rival of the fact that you both came from AA.
Absolutely, yeah. I was excited to see them come over. They ran a really good program when they were in the other league. They always have, and it was exciting to see them come over. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see and what happens there.
Yeah, and like you say, I mean, again, no one wants to make the drive to Petrolia considering how far it is from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. It seems like it's so far to get there. So yeah, like I say, in terms of the games, you guys open your season against Strathroy Jets on the road, and then your home opener is Friday, October 13th against the Orangeville Blitz. Anything that you got planned for the home opener?
Yeah, we're gonna have some exciting things going on, some giveaways. It's home opener is always our big one that sort of has gotten all of our focus throughout the year, but it'll be an exciting night. I'll leave that one up to a little bit of mystery. I know Cassie's got some stuff that she's working on for it, and Rich as well. So I'll let some things go through social on that. But we are going to have a lot of theme nights throughout the season. Our Santa Claus game got canceled last year, so we'll bring in some Santa Claus for the kids again this year, and it's gonna be a fun season to come watch. We start our season in Fergus this year. They're doing a massive renovation on the arena in Elora, and then as of right now, it's scheduled that the 1st of January we move back to Elora. So,
is that right? Okay, I didn't know that. I figured the whole season was going to be in Fergus.
We're splitting the dressing room with the Fergus Whalers, the new junior C team.
Right. So, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, it looks to be another great year for the Elora Rocks. 2 great seasons, and ultimately another third coming. You guys have always been a measure of success, and wish you nothing but the best this upcoming season. I know we'll talk again. We've been speaking with Mitch Scott of the Elora Rocks. They open their season against the Strathroy Jets Friday night. Be sure to tune in. Should be a good one. Thanks, Mitch, for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Raji.
Yeah, guys, want to thank Mitch Scott and Jesse Schumann for coming on to the podcast this week and speaking with us. It was great to have them come on and always a pleasure speaking with anybody in this league, and great to have their presence felt here on the WOSHL podcast. But yeah, guys, just to give you a refresh on the schedule for this upcoming weekend, you got Elora and Strathroy on Friday, October the 6th at 7:30 Gemini Sportsplex. And then you have the Lakers and the Squires. That one goes at 8:30 at the Greenwood Rec Center. On Saturday, 5 games on the sked. Orangeville at Tilbury, 7:30. Petrolia at Tilsonburg, 7:30. Strathroy Jets at the Woodstock Lakers, 7:45. You got the Stratford Fighting Irish and the Dunville Arrows at 8 o'clock. And you have the Alvinston Killer Bees and the Delhi Flames at 8. As always, guys, make sure to check the WOSHL website and watch live. That'll take you to the Sportfy website, and you can find and see if your game that you want to watch is being streamed live, in the respective buildings. But like I say, once again, I want to thank you all for watching. This has been a great episode of the WOSHL podcast. I am your host, Andrew Rogers, as always, and this episode of the WOSHL podcast, as always, is sponsored by VMS Sportswear and Apparel. That'll do it for episode 2, and we'll be back again next week for a brand new one and recap the weekend that was. Till then, stay safe, be safe out there, drive carefully and all that jazz. Don't drink and drive. You know the deal. And be good out there, everyone. And we'll see you all next week. Andrew Rogers signing off. We'll see you next week. Take care.